Okay, continuing with numerical experiments. Got something of a pointer with me, so in this chapter of the Beast, which is, it's gonna have to be continued. I'm gonna do some massive saga, I'm sure. It's just gonna be beast from now on in. All things beast, connected to the beast. So, good thing is, it's kind of easy to start somewhere since we're in amongst it. Just start here. Done a few other crappy videos, but I'm gonna, cut to the chase more and gonna get deeply spiritually philosophical, and we're gonna do the old connections to our little system we got here and see how it goes even back to biblical times before that. Something that repeats. Revelations is something going to be referring a lot to, obviously. 666 and all that kind of jazz. So in this chapter we're going to be concerning ourselves with the philosophical and metaphysical notions behind, as well as the physical, the gaps, as we can see with the absence of numbers commonly seen in the barcode, maybe especially earlier ones. It's probably still around, but it's like common, extremely common. So, and people ask why are those three, and it's just like, coincidence. But I'll show you. Probably put a link in the description or something, with some other coincidences. Maybe just one or two. I'll put a whole bunch there. Keep it simple. Okay, so where we're going with this, the gap, and so it's all a mirror. You see, like even like the abstract, the universal mind it's an abstract core, and within these abstractions everything reflects and mirrors, hence the Egyptian obsession with mirroring everything, hence the occult obsession with the same deal. Because, I don't know if you noticed, but certain things emerge in different areas, and things of the heavens appear on Earth, seem to reflect, whether it be people, places, or once you start to follow the movements, you see a story emerging. I guess that's where all the mythology comes from. So the gaps, we're going to look at the gaps. So I did a little diagram. I don't know if it'll squeeze in there. No. So I did a diagram based on 322 skull and bones, and the numbers down here, so they're like the ages of a human being. 322, and in between those we got, so from the age of maturity, which I showed the break happens in the case of Tutankhamun, the story being shown here, the damaged rod. I'm going to basically show genetics in Egyptian style. So at 19, the whole tomb is coded to tell a story, and with this too, as we could see up the top, the broken head of the pillar. And when it comes to Revelations, this basically has Revelations encoded into it, first and second death, all that sort of stuff. We'll get into it, but we'll start off slow and we'll go to the gaps. Okay, so you got Dandara light bulb. We'll use these ancient depictions of technology to describe a lot of what's going on like right now. So the reason like it looks like a flower as well is because like you often see this natural, like from the natural world, made into technological images, and that's because that's where they get their technology from analyzing nature and like basically everything in reality, how it works. And they were able to see like microscopic down to even the atomic and quantum universe. So natural versus technological, we're talking an arc and we're trying to see how this holistically combines with mind, like your genetics, mind, reality and all that stuff, and what's happening. So it is all largely based on cosmic cycles, but Revelations does seem to be a recurring thing that happens like within your own processes of self-evolution and growth. And also it's something that's just recurring in reality over and over, nearly every second of the day. But it has reached a peak, and it seems to be largely affecting, and it's in time with cosmic movements too. So all those pieces are there. So that's why I'm doing this now. Like, yeah, throw my 2 cents in. Okay, back to the gap technology. So we talk about an arc of certain cosmic cycles where there's destruction, things change, societies change, civilizations crumble. We're looking at adaptation, transformation, in alchemy, and we're gonna go into epigenetics, stuff like that. So, okay, the arc. Alright, I'll keep going. First of all, this sucker over here, Heckmet or something, Heket, doesn't appear anywhere else in Egyptian mythology, but he rears his ugly head here, some sort of amphibious rep. But he holds 2 sharp objects, which are most probably metal, which we could imagine something like this would be. So he's potentially offering an arc. We know biblical stories, and even those stories go back further, of destruction and arc. Now an arc is just a boat. See how we have these mirrors and like word etymology, or I think it's called. But an arc is also, an electrical current going from one metal object to another. But basically, a crossing. We're looking at crossings, and the X is a factor in this, as you'll see. Okay, so the arc. So there is a technological arc. Notice like certain things appearing in the sky. But there is also another side to it, which is, something more naturally adapted to the natural world, but there seems to be a hostile alien influence possibly masked in this day and age, to put it bluntly. Okay, so we'll go over to this side of things. Now, I'm onto these two sides. They use two sides to show contrast differences. So even without Hecate, the evil one, we still have a technological side, as we can see. We have the arms of that power device there are human, but on this side it's just a human. So we have technology, unnatural, I guess, being used in certain advances, versus a more natural approach. So there we have the two sides, and we see this today with, the technocrats and some who choose the middle way, which is like, just being careful in your own evolution, basically, and knowing what's what and looking at history. So I've got that covered. So we're looking at arcs and different arcs, different crossings, different adaptions. So genetically speaking, I've done this little, whatever it is. So I've been looking at where the sixes, well, usually it's 3-2-2, so there's only two, and see, in history, the Antichrist or whatever is the beast is decapitated. So there's a bit of decapitation going on in there, a bit of revenge, but see, I have to go to these mythologies to probably further describe it. Yeah, I know what I'm looking for. It was similar. So you got Apophis, which is like also connected to Set. And we see the feather, which is the judgment tool of Osiris. So it's a gentle touch. It's overcoming, and it's also a cosmic force. We know cosmic rays with the weakening of magnetosphere, and solar rays affect the genetic code and assist in the process of life, which would mean evolution. So, God in other sense, but we see God, or this force, working, everywhere and through a lot of things. And we also see this dark force, this snake that needs to be needs to really, I don't know, it's like it can't be destroyed, but it has to be taken care of constantly. So that's Apophis, and we've got these three sections here in the main depiction, but we also have like how I said, like, you know, this stuff like the snake in the tree, kind of thing, goes back pretty far. It's a shame to just, you know, destroy it without looking at its roots. Anyway, so the paws on the head, and he's got it, this time he's pretty much headed it off like on the second loop there, second node. Notice how it's never a straight snake, it's always twisted and looped. Certain parts of it are raised up. So in essence, the beast is headless. It's a headless deity. That's just what it is. That's because it's in the genetic code, it's also incomplete. But it's always it's like this, you know, it's trying to reunite the head and the great wound that is healed. So we're gonna see something like okay, well, let's go cut to the chase and say that, okay, I'm gonna put forward that it's a virus already, like born a virus, ancient husks, whatever, from viruses in our genetic code that are causing these gaps, and we need like consciousness as an arc, like epigenetic control over our own processes, and to be aware of processes within us and how they connect to reality and who or what's using it. So you got the skulls represented by 322. There's 122, there's 222s, and there's 322s. Okay. So on the third too, it's 0, it's incomplete, where it would be a 6, because 2, 4, 6, 1, 6, but 0, headless. 2, 4, 6, 0, and so on and so forth. And on the last video I showed you the name number calculations, the old Hebrew name number finding, and to use the first, and middle name and last name, and if you get a 666 then you might have a hit. But like I said, all this has to tie in. You can't just have one thing without the other. It has to be a perfect alchemy. So I don't know if what they're going to try to attempt to do, like, you know, because I'll show you how a virus in our DNA actually affects our consciousness already, and we know from history that there are neurological effects that might be subtle and might not even be noticeable, and they might even be able to manipulate your perception from there, because there are neurological malfunctions with these things, as we have seen in history, and they have lied about it in history. So yeah, you might have to take a look in the dark book of history, people, before you get steamrolled by our old occult friends here. Like, yeah, anyway, so I might stop it there, and then the next vid I will go into the details of viral effects on consciousness or awareness, which is probably going to be who knows, another 20-minute vid, and then another 20-minute vid, because it's going to, as I said, continue. Alrighty, see you soon.